The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. It took me 20 years of searching the globe to find the deposit of the highest purity iodine available. The new Survival Shield X2 is mined from 7,000 to 10,000 feet below the earth in pristine, environmentally clean conditions. The iodine crystals we use are extracted from an ancient 300 million plus year old deposit deep in the earth. It's the strongest nascent iodine on the market today. It delivers 650 micrograms per drop. Experience the new formula. Experience the ancient purity. Shield your family. Survival Shield X2. Available now at InfoWarsLife.com.
X2 from InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here for Infowars.com. In the month of July, we have got giant specials on everything at MadeIn1776.com. The already discounted Made in 1776 t-shirts are only $17.76. We have the new belt buckles that in only 2 weeks of sale are very close to selling out. There's only 500 of each. We're talking about Made in America belt buckles in nickeled brass. This is more than a summer blowout special. This is a new declaration of independence. But to expand the InfoWar, we're offering the equivalent of more than 5 months free right now when you get a membership at PrisonPlanet.tv for a limited time, only $39.95 a year. That's more than 5 months free off the regular price. Not just this July 4th weekend, but the entire month of July at MadeIn1776.com. Molon Labe, you can take my gun from my cold, dead hands.
Rallying patriots worldwide in defense of human liberty. It's Alex Jones.
I'm gonna steal me a silver stallion with not a mark upon his silky hide.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. We've just been taking your calls. We're going to take some more of those at 800-259-9231. That's 800-259-9231. Tell us what you're concerned about. We were just talking to a caller in the last segment, and he was saying that he thought one of the best ways that we could affect change is to, one of the things he does is to call up talk radio and interject topics that they're not talking about, just standard talk radio, things that typically not be on mainstream radio. That's what we're trying to do here. You know, one of the ways that I really found InfoWars was when Drudge started picking up a lot of TSA stories, because that really, really outraged me. And the only people covering it was Alex Jones and InfoWars. He's been doing this for 19 years, and we're really starting to have an effect now, and it's because of your help. You've built this. You've made it possible for Alex to reinvest the money in terms of hiring reporters that we can send to locations, in terms of building studios, to put this out on multiple platforms. It's your support that makes that happen. And one of the things that Alex decided a long time ago was that he was going to offer products that were going to help you fight the assaults on your health primarily. We also have other products that can help you to advertise the issues, T-shirts, belt buckles, that sort of thing. But primarily, it's been focusing on things to help you take control of your health, of your life, so that you can fight back against this. And so we've got some great specials up right now at InfoWarsLife.com. We've got, through the end of the month, we've got a Fluoride Shield special. That's a chelating detox. It's 25% off. If you get it with X2, Survival Shield X2, it is going to be a 30% discount off of that. Of course, you can find that at InfoWarsLife.com. We've also got Silver Bullet that is back in stock. We were out of that for about 2.5 months, but at the rate that it's going, we're going to be out of that in probably about a week, and it's a difficult thing to produce. So it could take us about another month to get supplies, and we still have some available there right now. It's $19.95, so great price on that. And of course, Super Male and Female Vitality. We've been getting rave reviews on that. All of that stuff you can find at InfoWarsLife.com. The number is 888-253-3139. That's 888-253-3139. Well, let's go back to your calls. Let's go to Jay in North Carolina. Jay, what's on your mind?
Hey, David, you're a great addition to the show.
Well, thank you.
You keep talking about jury nullification. We've created a website to educate the American people on their power and authority under the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. It's NationalLibertyAlliance.org.
NationalLibertyAlliance.org. Okay, good.
Yep, and we found a case where it's the U.S. versus Williams, where Scalia goes on a rant on the power and authority of the people's jury. And even in the Prince versus Mack case for Sheriff Mack, Scalia says, the people are the sovereigns are the kings, the government cannot tell the people what to do. And we're trying to take back the juries right now by educating people and making a jury list of educated constitutionally minded people.
Well, that's real important. I know that they've got something that I believe is going to be on the ballot in North Carolina. Maybe I'm not in North Carolina now. I haven't been there for a while, but I believe they've got something on the ballot where people would essentially surrender their rights to a jury trial and make that okay unless it was something like a capital offense or something. Do you know about that possible ballot access issue? That possible ballot?
No, I don't know anything about that. I'm a truck driver, so I'm hardly ever back in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right.
A lot of things goes on I don't know about, but we're trying to reconstitute the common law grand jury, and we're actually over half of the states right now have signed on to this. In New York State, they've got almost all of the judges, including Palente, under indictment right now because we're demanding access to our courtrooms.
Well, that's great.
This is the people's court. That's our brick and mortar building. So
that's
everybody
good.
should go to this website. It's NationalLibertyAlliance.org.
Good.
There's two 8-hour Constitution courses. There's common law courses. There's the Federalist Papers, the Anti-Federalist papers. There's hundreds of Supreme Court case rulings, all telling us our power and authority under the Constitution.
Well, you know, it really is an education war. It's an information war. People have to understand first. You know, we get criticized all the time saying, oh, you're trying to just scare people, not offer them any solutions. People have to understand what is actually happening to us, number one. Number two, they have to understand what their power is. That's what you're talking about with your website. They have to understand what they can do and the powers that they have essentially given over that don't need to be given over. The fact that you can lawfully, for instance, record the police in public. You have the right to do that. That's been affirmed over and over again in court cases. And of course, you don't have to physically get in combat with these people. If they're going to insist on it, just sue them in court. Of course, the problem with that is it's not going to be paid out of the officer's individual account. It's going to come out of the taxpayers. It's going to do that. But there's many things that we can do, and I think we have to take that approach. We have to act at the local level. Think liberty, act locally, I think is what we need to do. Thank you, Jay, for your efforts in North Carolina. Let's go to Ronnie in Texas. Ronnie.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I was calling basically what the Connecticut caller was talking about, controversial subjects which are banned, basically. And one in particular that's important to me is in 80% plus of Iowans, conservative Iowans are at least in favor of medicinal marijuana, and that's something that is obviously I can't seem to get on the air hardly ever about it. And the other thing that more personally I wanted to mention was that I don't mean to seem paranoid, but I had a speeding ticket, and I jumped through the hoops and went and talked to the prosecutor, and they told me it was dismissed. Then I got in the mail a notice that evidently the judge changed her mind, and she's not going to dismiss it. And I was wondering if what's going on here?
Well, I can't give you legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I know here in Texas that you can actually opt for a jury trial if you get a traffic violation. It's actually a little box that you can check on there. I don't think they have that in many states. They certainly don't make that as an obvious choice. So if you have the ability to do that, because in so many cases they set up these courts like traffic court. So many of them are just kangaroo courts that they set up. We see that these bureaucracies like the EPA, for example, or the IRS, they set up their own courts. They write their own regulations, which is essentially writing their law. So they have their own legal system that they just amend as they want without representation from us or any input from us. Then they have their own court system where you go before judges, not before a jury. They even have their own police force that's doing that. It's just like this case where the fellow up in Montana with the 8 acres, and he built a pond on his property, and then the EPA decided they were going to extend their jurisdiction. Previously, they had only asserted jurisdiction over waters that were crossing borders, that were public waters. Now they were going to go after this guy who had water that he'd just collected in this hole that he had dug out. It was on his own private property. It wasn't going onto his property from somewhere else. It wasn't going off of his property to somewhere else, but they came after him with $80,000 a day fines. And then just a week or so ago, they came out and said, we're going to now seize that money directly out of your account, just as if we were the IRS. So that's the way they creep with this authority, and it's getting truly amazing. So I can't really help you with your traffic thing there, but it is amazing, and we do have to stand up for our day in court. And one of the ways that you do that is demanding that you get a day in court. Many times you're not going to have a lawyer who is going to put his law license on the line by standing up and talking about jury nullification. I covered, while I was here, for one of the first couple of months that I was here, there was a guy called the New Jersey Weed Man, and he represented himself because he couldn't get a lawyer that was going to invoke jury nullification, and he actually had the New Jersey Constitution that said that jurors had a right to judge the law, not just the facts of the case. The first judge said, you can't show that to them, but he had already done it, and he got 7 out of the 12 jurors to acquit him. The prosecutor came after him a second time. The second time, he got a judge that allowed him to leave that sign up, and then he was acquitted 12-0. At that point, they can't come after you again. Typically, they can only do like 3 strikes at you, but they can't come after you after you've gotten a complete acquittal, 12-0. And that's what he got, but he had to do it himself. Other people aren't going to do it for you. The lawyers, in most cases, do not want to go up against a judge and fight the judges when the judges are telling you, you have to do what I say. Let's go to, thank you, Ronnie in Texas. Let's go to Kathy in Michigan. Kathy. Is Kathy gone? Let's go
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kathy.
Oh, hi. Love the show, first-time caller. Yeah, I was just wondering how far you think this is going to go with the illegals coming in before the government decides to get off their duffs and do something?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I don't see any sign that anybody is really getting ready to do anything. I mean, the most that anyone has done is Rick Perry, who said that he's going to activate the National Guard. But, of course, from what I saw, maybe I'm wrong, but the reports that I saw said they weren't actually going to deploy them. They were getting them ready. They weren't not going to deploy them for like another 30 days. Another 30 days. Do they take that long to deploy the National Guard if there's a hurricane? I don't think so. So I don't know what they're going to do when they go down there. They've been he's been questioned, like, do they have arrest authority? He wouldn't say that they did, but now I just saw an article saying that someone has speculated that they may be given arrest authority. So I don't know, but that's the most that we've seen anyone do with that. I don't think that the Republicans want to do anything. It's just like the impeachment of Obama. They don't want to stand up and take the hit for doing this, and they're concerned, I think, that the fix is in, that they're going to be perceived as being racist if they try to stop